Hey Collective, welcome back to Pearl Snap Tarot. Make it snappy. I just wanted to tell you a little story about what happened when I went to the grocery store this morning. I'm always ready. Maybe I should start with yesterday's events because I truly had a supernatural occurrence here at my home yesterday. It was really creepy too. It was a lot like, you know, if you've been coming to my channel for a while, and if you have, you remember, thank you. I really appreciate all 126 of my members now. I've had an increase in membership of just a few, but everyone counts. So thank you, whoever recently joined. I really appreciate you coming here. And I don't require donations, but if you would like to donate, you know, the link is in the description box, but I never get any donations. I think they're being diverted somehow. I really do. So it might be a waste of your money to donate to me because somebody else has their hand in my cookie jar, I think. Anyway, what happened yesterday was, and it's new moon time, and I've noticed signs of people doing spell work. It's the usual suspects, you know. Okay, here we go with the editing in stuff that I forgot. When I'm editing, I get onto some other subject and never give the rest of my sentence that I meant to. And in here, I meant to say, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll see that I love Alfred Hitchcock movies. I really do. I love me a good Hitchcock movie, man. Oh, I love them all. Anyway, it was a lot. What happened here yesterday morning was a lot like The Birds. The Birds. Okay. Who's a retard. He was out there doing stuff yesterday, again, taking his trash out. He don't dare come near this dumpster over here anymore. Not after I made that video about the dumpster fire and reported him to the property manager here. He was for a long time acting like he had every right to use the dumpster here, okay? This is a neighbor. He doesn't live in our complex. But he felt free to come and put anything he wanted in the dumpster, which is right outside my front door, anytime I was out there watching. Okay, this guy's so weirded. He wants to take the trash out whenever I'm there. So I'll see, so, you know, and all the gang stalkers do that too, and they started doing that yesterday too. So it's like some kind of take out the trash spell, I guess. 222 on a clock when I said that. It is. It's a take out the trash spell, and they've been doing that, and they all participate. They all will walk by me, or walk by my unit. They wait till I'm out there, and then somebody dressed in black and white, or black and white and red, will come and put something in a trash. Okay. So I don't think Creepy dares do it anymore. Okay. Because I already made a report on him. I think he's the one who started that dumpster fire. And the day it happened, there were all kinds of thugs out here on the street, sitting in their cars, watching. I think they were all thinking that something terrible was going to happen. The whole building was going to catch on fire. I don't know what they thought. They're idiots, you know. Or maybe they were just watching me run around and report and stuff. They were just having a good time, and they thought it was funny. I don't know. But there were thugs all over the street, ones I have never even seen before, parked along here watching that day. Anyway, yesterday, on the new moon, when I know they're sneaking around doing their spell work, trying to be really sneaky because they don't think I know what they're doing, but I do, or maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe they don't care anymore. Anyway, when I came out, when I opened my front door, there were crows everywhere. And I'm serious. They might have been little blackbirds. I don't know what kind of birds they were, but they were little black birds that were cawing, okay? And they were everywhere. They're everywhere. There's a tree right outside my place. They were all up in there. There's a big tree across the street from my place in the vacant lot. They were all over that tree. And then there's another tree. It's a pomegranate tree that across the street from the complex that is in the backyard of another bunch of people that have participated in stalking and harassing me. They're the ones that had the some kind of energy weapon that knocked me down right here in the street 2 times. One time it was coming from the midget's house who gets into the dumpster, and the other time it was coming from this other house with the pomegranate tree. Okay, so anyway, these birds were everywhere, and it was really loud. It was caw, 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 caw. They were flying all over the place, back and forth. I've never seen anything like that happening out there. And so I might have been scared before I had my spiritual awakenings, but by this time, come on. I've been listening to all these people who know a little thing or two about dark arts, magic, and because of some of the stuff that's happened to me, I believe it. I believe it now. So I was like, oh, I know what that is. That's some kind of witchcraft they're trying to do on me. And I had just heard someone on my device talking about take a spiritual bath. So I closed the door on that scene, and I came inside, and I hadn't had a shower yet. It was in the morning. So I came inside, stripped down, and took a spiritual bath right away. I cleansed myself, and then I saged down my apartment. And kind of took a few deep breaths and stuff. And that all took about a half hour. And when I came out, they were all gone. They were all gone. So, I do think that's what it was. I do. I've never seen anything like that. What was going on with those birds yesterday morning, it was scary. It was scary, but I didn't get scared. So that must mean I'm making some kind of progress. I don't know. I do think I'm a developing, psychic medium. And so that's why I knew what that was, and it didn't scare me that bad now. Okay, so here's the other thing that happened. And if I hadn't been watching Kuan Yin's channel, I would have had a clue about this. Not a clue. I would have never had a clue if I hadn't studied her channel carefully, too. So when I came in the Walmart to do my shopping, I noticed this guy, and I've seen him in there before. He's a very large, very tall, very robust, built bodybuilder, black, and he has an African accent. Okay, this guy is, the shaved head and everything. He's very imposing looking, and I've noticed him in there before. And right around the time that Kuan Yin started talking about imported African spiritual practitioners. And we had some people move into my complex that kind of answered to that description too. And one of them got evicted right away and cursed me out as she was being evicted. That was weird. That was months ago. Anyway, this big black guy is in Walmart. I think he was, how they radio ahead. They walkie-talkie everybody, every place. That's how they manage the gang stalking. They have people all along the routes you take with their cell phones, and they're talking to each other. Okay, she's going south on Washington Street now. She's turning. She's making going west on First and going to Walmart. They know where you're going, right? And even just like that. And when I left the house this morning, people left, and someone from a new neighbor from the other side of me. This is a new neighbor. Got in her car and took off right before I did. Okay, so I had a feeling that whoever these new neighbors are involved in this too. Okay. For a long time, that apartment was vacant, but I just got some new neighbors. This month, August, has been their first month here. So I don't know who they are. They haven't introduced themselves. It looks like they have kids. I'm not sure. I know they have one little boy, I think. It's a white couple. Anyway, she got in her car and drove off. And I thought, okay, you're involved too, are you? And when I was on my way to Walmart, if you go the route I just described, you go past the graveyard. It's the Catholic graveyard, and I think it's the one, I think that my ex-landlord was doing graveyard spells on me with graveyard dirt. I think he was now. And as I drove by, I saw these cars parked there. I've never seen that before. And there was a funeral going on. It looked like quite a big funeral with a lot of people there. There must have been at least 20 cars parked there, I don't know, and a lot of people I could see out at one of the grave sites. So I just kept going, but I thought, I've never seen that before. I wonder if that's a little street theater just for me. I don't know. You don't know what these people do. They do witchcraft. They have covens all over town. Okay, it's Saturday. They probably wanted making some extra money. I don't know. Anyway, I went to Walmart, came back. On my way back, I wasn't in Walmart that long. I didn't get that many things. I only got 5 or 6 things. I was just in there long enough that I'll tell you what happened in a minute. But when I came back after going there, the whole thing was gone, everything. All the cars were gone, the funeral was gone, boom, gone. And I thought, God, that's all gone. That disappeared really fast. Boom. I thought it went away, it got cleaned up too fast. Okay, all right, I don't know. I don't know if I'm imagining things or not sometimes. Who knows? But the reason I had a flag go down in my mind is because that ex-landlord of mine that I think was doing spells on me with graveyard dirt used to make remarks about the graveyard every single time we went by there. Every time. He would say, oh, that's where my parents are buried, and I've got to go clean up their grave site one of these days. And I know he was trying to get me to go over there. He thought I'd offer, and I never did. I knew he was doing that. I never offered. And then he would shut up and change the subject. Okay, so that's why I thought maybe that was staged. I don't know. You know, even inside Walmart, they had point people with walkie-talkies letting him know where I was, because I came in the front door and he was in my line of sight. I could see him, and I started walking that direction, and I could see him, and I was walking in the direction of where the eggs are, because I was wanting some eggs, right? So then I saw him, and I decided to make a left turn into the stacks, you know, into the aisles, and sort of get lost. So I did that, and I went and got my eggs and a couple other things, and then I went back into the produce section with the intention of grabbing some fruit. And when I came around the corner, there he was, standing right over exactly what I wanted, the items I wanted. Now, this is a security guy. As far as I can tell, this is a security guy, okay? He's got the walkie-talkie and all that. He's not a shelf stalker, or, well, unless you spell it S-T-A-L-K-E-R maybe, but he's, you know, he's not an S-T-O-C-K-E-R guy. I don't think so. He's like big cheese security guy, big swinging security with the walkie-talkie and everything, right? So what's he doing over at the peaches, manhandling all the peaches all of a sudden that I'm standing there? And what he was doing, I noticed, I was about to ask him, what are you doing with the peaches? You know, why are you, you know, because I was going to try to get him a little bit, because I knew exactly what he was doing, you know. He thinks I'm too dumb to notice he's fucking around with peaches. You know, what's the security guy doing over there, doing that? He appeared to be taking icky ones out of there. I said, oh, you're taking the bad ones out, are you? He looked at me, and by this time I was right next to him. He looked at me and said, yeah, we take the bad ones out. And I said, oh, that's good, because you know what they say, you know, one bad one spoils all of them. You know, have you ever heard that? I said, and he goes, oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. I said, yeah, I figured you have. But he wouldn't get away from the peaches. He would not stop touching the peaches. He would not get out of my way. He would not get out of the way. So I walked away, and I walked over to where the cheeses are, by the deli meats, right? I walked over there because I noticed two people standing at the deli counter wearing those big, underground slave hats that some of the waiters have, the big bubble shower cap things, Harriet Tubman bonnets or whatever they are. I don't know. Listen, I'm your friend, okay? I got some past lives back in around that time as an abolitionist, so don't be doing your dark arts on me, stupid. I knew what those people were doing. I knew. And I went over to get close to them to see if I could get a hit on it. And I went over and I said, excuse me, and I walked past him once. And then I said, excuse me, I walked past him again. Because sometimes I get insights right when I get right up next to somebody like that. And so I stood there for a minute next to these people. They were at the deli counter. So was I. They were being helped at the deli counter. I just was standing there looking like I was waiting. Guess who shows up right then? Boom. And of course, the peaches are only feet away from the deli counter, too. But guess who showed up right there? He showed up and started hovering around. Mr. Security Guy, right, is hovering around me as I stand at the deli counter next to his two, what I think were accomplices, okay? And I was just standing there. No one knew why I was standing there, but anyone watching me would have just assumed I was waiting in line to be helped at the deli, right? So why is Mr. Security Guy walking up to me asking if he can help me? All of a sudden he said, can I help you? And I thought, how can you help me? You're not working behind the deli counter. For all you know, I'm waiting for them to help me. How can you help me outside here? Or, I think he was just nervous. He knew he got my message. He knew what I was saying to him. And he knew that I was on to the other two people too. And so I looked at it and he said, can I help you? And I looked again because I was looking at all those big chunks of meat they have in the deli case that they take out to slice up. And there's a scandal right now, and there's a recall of a certain brand of deli meats right in this state, okay, for listeria. And so I quickly said, I'm just checking to make sure they're not that brand. And he said, oh, no, that's another company. We don't carry that here. I said, oh, that's good. And I walked off. If it hadn't been for Kuan Yin, I wouldn't have known any of that. Or, for that matter, LaRasha. She's always wearing those hats. I'm not accusing her of practicing dark arts, but, some of these people who wear these hats are, for sure. Now I think that. Also, I was stalked around by the usual suspects everywhere I went. The minute I walked out the door of Walmart, a guy got on a Harley and started up real loud. There's always somebody on a Harley there. It's a biker. It's a trigger. It's a trigger for graduates of MKU like me. And so I couldn't get any peaches there, so I went to the other store where I usually get gang stalked, where I've been gang stalked many times by the ex-chief of police in that Albertsons. And it takes a lot of guts for me to go in there. It really does. I hate that place. And I went in there, and no one was stalking me today that I know of. But the lookout lady at the front door that hands out the samples was different today. So it wasn't the usual... I even started calling her lookout lady. She thought she was so fucking smart, watching out for the target at the door and all that. So as soon as I figured out who she was, I started calling her that. Because she tried to be nice to me when I came in after I figured things out, She tried to act like, oh, hi, would you like a sample today? And I'm like, no thanks, lookout lady. What are they going to do with that? What are you going to do about that? It ain't illegal for me to call you a lookout lady. Especially when I'm being just as nice and polite as you are. and spoils the whole bunch. I knew you knew that. Okay, that's just, and millions of crows, and oh my God. And last night was the Zozobra burning event. I did, you know, that's the weirdest thing ever. It's weird. Zozobra's weird. It is. And it's only in New Mexico, okay? The land of enchantment. Well, there's a big joke here. A lot of people who are stuck here like me called it the land. They call it the land of entrapment. A lot of people call it that. New Mexico sucks. Don't come anywhere near here. Travel advisory. Okay? Don't come to New Mexico. Stay out. Stay out. Everybody, anyone you see could be a total desperate criminal. I'm serious. Stay out of New Mexico. Stay safe. All right, over now. Make it snappy.